the other event I remember was my uncle, Duermilo, sitting down and teaching me to read in Spanish. They had ordered from someplace in New Jersey or Miami back then an early reader. It was simple. So I spoke Spanish, but I had no idea how to read it. And so my uncle, my mother's only brother, he sat down next to me and he said, Oye, A-E-I-O-U, el burro sabe más que tú. And I laughed, and he said, repeat it. And I did. I repeated that rhyme. And he said, listen, in Spanish, it's not all this fancy stuff in English. The letters always say the same thing. They always sound like that. So you just have to sound them out always the same way, A-E-I-O-U. And we sat down, and I started to unlock the words. And I remember everything about that day. I remember the smell of my uncle. I remember the thrill of being with him, but also just the thrill of unlocking the language in writing and in reading that I could already speak. It was beautiful. I wish every child has that experience. It's one thing to speak Spanish and English, but it's also another thing to be really literate in it. And you know, after that, my aunts, as I said, were teachers and so on. So they taught me the eye, the little funny tilde over the N, the accents. I'm not very good at accents still, but they taught me the basics of how to write and encouraged me to write letters to my cousins who were still in Cuba. And that's how I did that. I learned to read and write in Spanish with my uncles and my aunts. And I can't say that I write and read Spanish today as well as I do English, but that's my job now. I'm really deciding that although I can read and write in Spanish, I'd like to do it as well as I do in English. So these days, I'm trying to buy a lot of adult literature in Espanol and read and just listen to the news in Spanish and really just get my vocabulary more developed and just be able to read and write faster and deeper.